Hi everyone, Cindy Squirrel here. I'm going to attempt to make buckwheat pancakes. Now this recipe is from the Canadian Settler's Guide, which was first published in 1855. Now this is through the Dundurn historical site, and it's the DundurnRecipeChallenge. And this one, although it has hardly any ingredients to it, took a lot of research before I could even attempt to make it. First ingredient, 3 pints to 1 quart of buckwheat flour, teaspoon of salt, half a teacup of barm. Okay, so now Google how big a teacup was in 1855. Was it that big? No. According to Google, don't know how good Google is, it says that a teacup is 2.5 fluid ounces. That's 2 ounces. You see how small that teacup is? Quite a bit smaller. Maybe it was that small. Don't know. Don't have any in my collection. So that's fine. We've crossed that hurdle. We need half a teacup. So that'd be 1.25 ounces of barm. Barm. You'd get that in 1855 at a brewer, and it's the froth off the fermenting malt liquor. Ooh, that sounds good. But I don't have a brewery around here, so did a bit of research and a lot of math, and 7 ounces of barm equals 2 3/4 teacups. There's a half a teaspoon. So 7 ounces of barm equals a half a teaspoon of yeast. And then I kept getting myself confused, did some more math, ended up it's like 0.5 of a gram that I need would equal that amount of barm, half a teacup. So that's fine. I don't have barm. I'll use half a gram of yeast. Then it says, that's it. Flour, milk or water, salt, and barm. No eggs, no oil. Okay, that's fine. So I'm going to mix that all up, and then we're going to put it in a warm place overnight. The warmest place is in my oven with the light on. In 1855, they didn't have an oven with a light on it. The light would be the wood stove, so they probably had it sitting on top of the cook stove, the wood-fired cook stove. So that is what I am going to do. Okay, so here we go. I'm only going to make a half a batch because I know that 2 cups of flour makes a lot of pancakes, and there's just me here. So my sister brought me up some buckwheat flour because I couldn't find any in town. So I have 2 cups, half a quart of flour, and then substituting the barm for 1/4 teaspoon of yeast. It's not very much at all. Put that in there. Buckwheat is quite a different texture. I've never made anything with buckwheat. Okay, a little bit of salt. And the only other ingredient is warm milk. Now, since there's not going to be any oil or eggs in here to thicken it up, a usual pancake recipe is 2 cups flour, 2 cups milk, equal portions, but then you have eggs. So I'm going to start off, I'm not just going to dump in 2 cups of milk. And I've warmed this up because that's going to help with the fermenting process. Okay, so a little bit more. It's quite a different aroma. It actually smells really lovely. So I think it says, yeah, just beat well. So we're going to need more milk. Sorry for stepping out of the picture there. I hope this holds together. I don't want to make it too runny. They won't be flapjacks, they'll be flat jacks. Okay, that was a terrible one. Forgive me for that joke. Okay, now that is not smooth at all, so a little bit more milk. And it said you could use water, but I guess if you didn't have a cow in the 1850s or a goat or whatever, and all you had was water, this was better than nothing. Did you know that you would starve to death if you just ate flour or grain? Not cooked, just eat that. You'd also starve to death if you just had water. But if you combine the two, for some reason, it will nourish you and keep you alive. So that's the way I'm going to leave it for tonight. And we will see. I will put it in the oven with the light on. And we'll see what it looks like in the morning. It's supposed to be all bubbly. Let's wait and see. Just look at that. It really fermented overnight. They're really keeping their shape. They're quite a thick pancake, thicker than I thought they'd be without having an egg in them. Looks yummy. Wow. Can't wait to bite into that. Not sure what to say about them. I'm not sure. I've never had buckwheat before. So I'm not sure if that is the flavor that I'm tasting, quite a different flavor, or if because it's fermented, so it's the sour taste that I'm tasting. I think I'll try these again, but without leaving them overnight. I'll just make up the batter and use baking soda or baking powder in the morning and just make them fresh and see what the difference is. Quite different.